yeah, we're just naturally expressing a certain existence. We're accepting this existence, and maybe this is all we've come here to learn, is just to accept. And the power lays in acceptance. So as long as we're accepting, we're doing everything truly. We're learning to accept. Happy days, As long as we can accept, we're often not suffering. We're just getting on with life and being happy to an extent. This is great. This is positive. This is love. This is the human experience. What gets me going and what gets me communicating things like this is because there's a lot of suffering in this world, and suffering is a choice. It's a choice that we can all overcome. And it's the suffering which doesn't need to take place. It's the voice of love. Love is trying to establish and guide the knowing within every single expression of life which chooses to suffer. The awareness will flow to try and communicate to those who are experiencing suffering, those who are going through states of emotional imbalance, for the truth to come into people's lives to be able to help establish and balance the pathways back to a happier self. And this is done through expressing true knowledge, and true knowledge being that we are vibrational beings, and depending on the quality of thought we're perceiving will inflict a perception, an image which will imitate a certain frequency. And as long as we connect to that frequency or that image, we will start to resonate at that certain level of perception or that certain band of existence. And that's how we get so down and so dark and so lost, is because we start resonating to the band of frequency which our minds perceive our existence as. And it's not our true, this is the true power or the true awareness, is that this is not our true existence. We're not reflections of hatred and anger and distortion. We're beings of love and infinite possibility. And what's happening is manipulation to our existence. We're being manipulated to believe a false identity. And this false identity doesn't want to be exposed, because as soon as it gets exposed, we start to wake up to it. We start to understand that this false identity is the mind's, lives within our minds, and it manipulates our minds. It's not the true self. It's not the true existence of love and happiness and positivity. It takes away the potential of being love, being happiness, and being positivity. It attempts to trick us into making us feel that this life is destined for a certain experience, when this life is not destined for a certain experience. It's destined to discover a certain experience. And that's where a lot of the time we go wrong, is we feel like this life is destined for a certain experience. It's not. It's destined to discover a certain experience. And that's the magic, is that we start to bring magic into our lives. We start to establish a sense of love, a sense of guidance, a sense of self-expression, a sense of positivity, a sense of joy, a sense of devotion. And everyone has the possibility to do this. Everyone is gifted with the expression of breath. This breath which we're breathing is the procreation of this reality, of this universe, of this very single present now moment. So as long as we're breathing, we have the ability to say thank you for this breath. And that's where a lot of us go wrong, is we can't even enter a state of gratitude just for being alive, because all we're doing is looking out into this world with hate and anger and frustration. And that's the shift, is we need to stop looking outside of this world, and we need to start looking inside of ourselves, and understanding that inside of ourselves is where the magic takes place. And as long as we can stop looking outside of ourselves, start looking inside of ourselves, and start to establish self-love, self-awareness, we can start to accept ourselves. Acceptance is everything. As long as we can learn to accept ourselves, we can learn to heal and start to manifest and evolve back into love and happiness. Pow!